Welcome back to The Sitting Duck, a Town of Duck podcast, where we dive into the stories that make our community special. My name is Kay Nickens, and I'm the Public Information and Events Director for the Town of Duck. Today, we're chatting with a couple of members of the Ohio Shay Clan, a dedicated group known not just for their parade spirit, but for their unique role as the unofficial litter crew at the end of the 4th of July parade. If you've ever traveled into Duck, you've likely seen their Adopt a Highway sign, and you might not ever really known who they are. So this episode is going to introduce you to a couple of members of this family who love our community so much, and we'll learn more about how the tradition started, what motivates them to keep our town beautiful, and why their work behind the scenes is just as important as the parade itself. So, catch my breath after that one. So thank you both so much for being here. I'm going to let you guys introduce yourselves. So who wants to go first?
I'm going to let Dad.
All right.
Go for it.
Joe Shay from Columbus, Ohio. We started coming to the Outer Banks when we lived in Columbia, Maryland. In fact, we started living there when there were less than 2,000 people, and there's now probably 120,000. But we certainly enjoy. I came down here. I was a sales manager for a company called Ross, which is a division of Abbott. We made baby formula, Similac, and I launched a product called Ensure when I was in the home office. That's a total meal replacement product, which the astronauts used and no one knows about, but the astronauts used it. Anyway, that's who I am, and I'm about to be 88 years old, and we've been coming here since 1966, I think.
68.
68. Well, see, get corrected by my daughter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so hey, I'm Gretchen Saussy, and I am the oldest of Dad's 3 kids. I live in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I've been coming here since, like we said, 1968. And what started out as just a family trip of the 5 of us soon evolved into something that I think involved 7 families coming down all at the same time. We started out in Nags Head at the Carolinian, and then we went to the Cabana East, which is no longer there. And that's where we met all those families and did that for years and years. It was just religious that we came together. And then we came up to Duck in 96, I think it was, maybe earlier.
No, 96.
Okay, came up to Duck in 96 because family was growing. We were getting married, having kids, and it was getting really crowded. We got really spoiled. It was getting crowded in Nags Head, and we wanted to come up and have a little more space and a little more room and a little more quiet and peace and simplified.
And here you are.
And here we are.
So did you always come around the 4th of July, or was that a change that occurred later on?
No, we came, I started coming as a sales manager. I was responsible for meetings and conventions, and there was a group of physicians in this area that had a convention at the Carolinian. And since I was paying $1,000 or something for the convention, these are 1968 numbers, but we came down and I worked the convention, and good old GP came up to me and said, "Son, are you going to be coming to these meetings often?" And I said, "Yes, sir, I sure would like to." He said, "Do you have a girlfriend?" And I said, "No, but I have a wife." He said, "Well, we'd like you to bring your wife. Do you have any children?" And I said, "Yes, we have children." He said, "We'd like you to bring them too." And he says, "We have a meeting on Saturday, but we don't really meet. And that's a day for family, and we'd like you to come and bring them." And I said, "Fine." And so I wanted to be a part of their meeting schedule. So they told me they play golf, they do swimming, they do tennis and stuff. And so I said, "Well, let me put up the trophies for it." So as a company, I sponsored their golf and tennis. And one time we couldn't play Duckwoods because rattlesnakes were on the greens. So anyway, that's how we started coming. And when I brought my wife and daughters to the Outer Banks, my wife said, well, we have to have a place that has a lifeguard at the ocean and a lifeguard at the pool. And Cabana East was one that did. And they also had Friday free hot dog day. And then they had, if you stayed there 6 days, you got the 7th day free. So it was very economical. And we packed 5 of us into a one bedroom, 2-bed efficiency. And somebody always had to sleep on it with like a pull-out chaise or the floor. So, but most of the time I think it was the floor.
But that was typically, we started though it was typically at the end of July, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Well, we started our vacations, yes.
At the end of, because you
but
had
the meetings were here in May, end of May.
Okay. And then we started coming in July, but we were like the end of July and not the beginning.
Right.
And I think we moved to July weekend when your grandkids got older.
Yeah.
With scheduling and sports and
swim meets.
And when that was happening, and it just got moved, it shifted.
Yes.
So do you remember the first time that you guys decided to be involved in the parade, or what came first? Because you do have a portion of the highway that the Ohio Shay Clan has adopted. So what led to that? Let's start there.
Well,
the finger's pointing at Joe.
Yeah, that's a Joe thing.
I used to run a lot, and when I was running, I just got disgusted seeing all the trash, and so I'd take a couple plastic bags with me, and I wouldn't have to run 8-10 blocks, and I could fill both bags. So I said, no, that's crazy. And then I heard from someone that there was an Adopt a Highway program where you had to agree to pick up 2 miles of highway on both sides and had to do it 4 times a year, et cetera. And so I said, fine. I said, signed up. So we had a cocktail party one time, and I had everybody sign up.
A little bit of bribery.
Yeah. It's like, you'll help me, won't you?
Yeah.
So when was that? What year was that? Do you remember?
Oh, let's see. I've been picking up since 1999. So this will be our 26th year. Or more than that. Let's see, 25, whatever.
Yeah.
So it was about 2000 maybe.
Okay.
So, I just, as part of my military training, I guess I was in the service, and I used to always every morning you police the area barracks, you picked up stuff. But the first time, it took me a couple days. My wife wondered where I was. I was gone almost all day. And I picked up 23 bags.
23. Like plastic bags, like shopping bags.
Big.
Oh, like big trash bags.
Big trash bags.
Yes.
Filled.
Big trash bags. Now, I would only go back in about 8-10 feet, which, is enough, I think, because the reason you're picking them up is so that people can mow and keep it nice and pretty. And so I start doing that, and 26 years later, I'm still doing it.
Yeah, but we're not picking up as many bags.
Oh, it's
thank goodness.
Well, the contractors used to just, they'd throw all their bottles and everything in the back of their trucks, and they're building up in Corolla and wherever, and then they'd ride down the road, and it'd get all over the highway, blowing out of the back of the trucks.
Right.
But it's now you can walk 8-10 blocks and you won't even fill a bag, which is really good. People are conscious of it, and I think they've seen me walking along the highway enough so that
they said, "Oh no, there's Joe.
There's Joe. There's that old man. What's that old man doing out there?"
Yeah, they recognize me. So anyway.
So I take it was your idea to join the parade.
I think it was more Rob's.
It was probably my husband's.
Okay.
I think it was Rob's idea. So I was a willing participant. And then it seemed natural since people were throwing everything, candy and coins and stuff, but they're not doing that as much anymore, which is good. But we would pick up, people's coffee cups or whatever. We'd have them drop it in, and it just wouldn't litter the 2 streets that we have the parade on. So, but it's been fun.
how many people do you think usually, well, I guess you would know, but how many of your family members all take part in that on the 4th?
Oh, it varies.
What's the most?
The most I bet we had
When Tom was here. Tom and
Tracy. Or when we've had the entire, I'd say we'd probably have 30 would be our biggest number.
yeah.
And then our smallest number is probably when Rob and I did it by ourselves.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
How long did that take you?
We also, we're at the back of the parade, so
Right.
there's a lot of, we picked up a lot. There was someone driving, because we were driving I was driving an old Jeep, and we had decorated that. And I think it was Rob and maybe someone else. It was just the 3 of us that were part of the parade that year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So I have to admit, I did a little bit of lurking, and I saw that you guys even have your own Facebook page, which is just adorable.
We do.
It's adorable. And I saw there was one year where you had a banner that said there were 4 generations over 50 years. So is that still the case with the 4 generations? And does everybody participate for the most part?
We used to, the grandkids would ride. Some of them were young enough they'd ride in the back of the truck with me.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody participated in, now that not a lot of babies, but we got 5 great grandbabies, and we've got a bunch of worker bees.
Mm-hmm.
So they can't all make it for the 4th anymore. They come when they can come.
Right.
In their schedules. In fact, 2 of my grandsons own a landscaping company, so they're pretty busy this time of year. And we've had, I'd say 40, close to 40 in the parade one time,
Mm-hmm.
which was good. But
And so the deal is that now the process has been evolving.
Mm-hmm.
And at first, my niece and her and my cousin made homemade signs that we put on the truck and on the back. We used to carry like something that would carry kayaks on.
Yeah.
We would decorate that,
trailer, yeah.
like a trailer back there. And then now that has evolved into a truck, and my dad sits in the back, and he is the king of recycling.
Ooh.
And he has a sash
Oh,
and white gloves
a crown?
and a crown.
Oh, perfect.
Yes. And then my mom did that too. She was the queen for a couple of years.
Yeah, she's the queen of trash.
She was the queen of trash, but she doesn't like sitting in the back of the truck anymore. So now she sits in the truck with me.
I love that. How do the kids feel about using some of because this is their vacation too, and, their summer vacation. Do they enjoy volunteering?
Oh, picking up the highway?
Do they mind getting up?
Picking up the highway or the parade?
Well, they enjoy the parade, but we don't allow the little ones to help on
Right.
the
street.
It's
It is hectic.
you have to walk against the traffic
Right.
going north, because some of these trucks sometimes are barreling pretty fast.
They are.
And I wouldn't want the little ones out there. But my grandboys have gotten up, and granddaughters have gotten up and cleaned the whole highway. Some mornings they have done it in an hour or 2 hours.
And they love it.
Yeah, I think they do it out of respect to me. I don't think they love it.
But they do love,
If they like to eat.
Right.
Hey.
uh-huh.
You got something with bribery. See?
Yes. Well, I was going to say there's typically a nice meal at the end of it.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
Gretchen
good.
cooks.
I do like a sausage gravy.
Oh, nice.
But then when they were really little, used to take them to get ice cream.
Right. Give them a
So,
treat. No,
okay,
or
if you're picking up
cookies.
trash and then getting ice cream, that's a pretty sweet deal.
Right. And in the summer, and ice cream are kind of like peanut butter and jelly. Like,
Yeah.
They just go together.
You should have that.
That's awesome. But that's also really neat that you're instilling such an important characteristic to have, and, to be forward thinking and environmentally conscious, and to kind of start having that respect, not just for people, but places. And that's really neat. And so when you have that many people involved, what's a typical day for you guys, like on the 4th? Like, you've mentioned a process. Have you gotten it down to a science?
Oh, we're getting it to a science, yes.
Yeah?
We've got boxes that are labeled, that we have all sorts of decorations, and we have learned in the past now that we collect the decorations back, so we can use the hats and the garland and everything else again. Because for a while there, it was just kind of like, oh, we'd buy it and then it would all disappear. But we have boxes that stay at Mom and Dad's house. My husband has boxes that go back to his house. And this year we've kind of switched it up a little bit. We have like real banners that we're putting on. I'm making a balloon arch. It's evolving.
So when does that start, the decorating process?
The night before.
The night before, as appropriate as a fellow procrastinator.
Yes. No, the night.
I like to say that we were talking about being in communications earlier. It is strategic prioritization. Mm-hmm. There you go.
Yes.
It's not procrastination.
No.
Strategic prioritization.
Right. It's like, oh, do I want to leave the beach to go start decorating? Or no, I don't want to leave the beach until I need to.
Right. But do you also...
Rob's a hit, though. He wears Uncle Sam outfit.
Yeah.
As hot as it is, he still wears it, and
he gets all decorated.
He
gets
good.
all gussied up.
He's probably the stimulant for all of our parades.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so you just said parades, multiple. Do you do multiple parades?
No, I mean
just this one.
Oh, just this one. Okay.
But every parade, he's the one that he and Gretchen.
He and Andy too.
Andy brings a bullhorn. He's from Louisville, and he brings his
That's my cousin.
voice message, and he gets his family to participate. So that's good.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's the most memorable? I think if you had to, when you think back on your legacy as the very last entrance in our parade, what's something very memorable that sticks out? It could be funny or just something endearing, but I feel like you've got some stories.
I think it's Mom and Dad have been here for so long, going through the parade and seeing all the friends that that are standing on the sides, and they're like, Joe, Ann, just screaming, and it's just like, it just warms my heart.
Right.
Yeah, it does. The people that you who work here and live here.
So where exactly, remind me, is your Adopt a Highway sign? It's coming into Duck, but is it in Southern Shores?
One's at, what is it? It's not Seotes.
By Shores?
No, it's up further. Yeah, maybe by Shores. It's close to
Because we parked there.
Yeah, and the other one is down almost to, what's the name of that road? Duck Road, Dogwood. It's Dogwood. It's 2 miles. Dogwood to.
Is that Southern Shores?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Southern Shores. We do most of the cleanup in Southern Shores.
Okay.
Are you involved with Southern Shores as a town?
No, I used to belong to Duckwoods Country Club that I played golf at a lot, but no. And a lot of the residents, full-time people live there.
Right.
Some live up here, but not as many.
So you've also seen, in addition to a lot of trash, you've also seen a great deal of development in the area change.
Oh, for sure.
What was it like coming down here in the 90s?
Well, meat was delivered twice a week.
In the 90s?
Yes.
Where?
In Dag's Head. You could get the dairy. There used to be a black and white dairy. Yeah. A black and white dairy, and the meat was twice a week. There was no Harris Teeter, there's no Food Lion, there's no Publix, none of those. There was a black and white.
And what about the trading post?
I don't know about the trade.
There was a trading post in Nag's Head or Kill Devil Hills, I think. I remember going there with Mom.
But, I caught fish every morning. I mean, you used to catch breakfast. And in fact, one story was I was catching these spot, and I was throwing them back, and this lady came walking along, and she's got a trench coat on, and she, she's my age by that time, probably about 80. She said, Sonny, what are you doing? I said, well, I'm fishing, and I'm trying to catch a big fish. She says, oh, those are good fish. I'll tell you what, you put the fish you have in a bucket and bring it up to my house. And then come back tomorrow, and I'll show you how to cook them and fry them up and stuff. And I said, fine. So I caught about 20 fish and brought it up to her house. And she said, you come back tomorrow now. I said, okay. So she showed me how to clean them, and she cooked them up. Oh, spot.
When was this?
It's delicious. Well, Mom and I were staying at Nags Head Inn, or not Nags Head, Cabana East.
Oh, so that was years ago.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Well,
70s.
I mean, when meat was only delivered twice a week.
Wow.
I mean,
Do you still fish now?
pardon?
Do you still fish now?
I don't fish as much now, but my nephew does, and one of my grandsons is fishing now. But no, I used to go with only Tillet. We went deep sea fishing. I used to go take everybody deep sea fishing, and if you haven't been out there on the Gulf Stream, it is just beautiful to see the difference in color between the Gulf Stream and the ocean. It goes from light blue to purple. It is beautiful. And they fish right on the shore, the deep end. It's a ride. It's worth the ride.
I've seen pictures. I've never done it. I've only seen pictures.
Pictures can't do it.
Yeah.
Pictures never do it. I mean, pictures are good, but nah.
You got to experience it.
You got to do it. You got to do it. It's worth the ride.
The water down here lately has been so clear. Have you?
Oh,
yeah,
last night?
it's beautiful.
It was gorgeous. We were out on the beach. It was probably around 7 o'clock. And, it was low tide, very little wave. And we just walked out, and it's like you can see your feet. It's flat. It was gorgeous.
We call it Lake Atlantic because it's just so flat and clear. And I'm partial to clear water.
Well, when we first started coming down here, we of course had life jackets for the girls, but I thought the waves were wonderful, and I used to love to let them go on the waves. I'd tie a rope around them, and they'd go out one at a time. I let them bounce in the waves with a rope around them. I mean, they were really rough, and it was great. It's great.
So you guys spend the whole week here when you come down. So what do you do after? Well, I guess the parade's at the end of your week. So what do you guys usually get up to while you're here?
Well, we do Billy Seafood. We've became friends with Billy, or young Billy, not Tommy, that runs it, and Judy, his mother. And we do crabs about twice in a couple of weeks we're here. In fact, they do soft shells. I don't know if you ever, but soft shell crabs, but they send them up to New York to the markets up there.
And Billy's is a good place. I live back in Collington.
Yeah, Tommy. Well, Tommy Beasley is his name.
Mm-hmm.
And his brother is Jody. And Judy makes tuna fish. Her daughter advertises it, or not daughter, granddaughter advertises it. It is great.
The tuna salad?
Yeah.
The tuna salad?
The tuna salad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
she makes it fresh every day, and it's terrific. They're wonderful people. Well, Collington, you must know Pete Hunter.
Oh,
Pete,
yeah.
my wife is a frustrated architect, so we used to go through all the houses, and we loved the houses he was always doing, and it was always clean, and so we had him. He did some building on one of our houses, and then he built. My wife designed a house, and he built it on Wild Duck Dunes on Mallard Drive, and so much to her chagrin, I told her, I said, it's only an investment. We're going to hold it for 5 years. We held it for 20.
It's usually how those things work out, isn't it?
Yeah. Finally, I said, honey, we got to sell this. We took all of paintings and moved on down the street.
So, going back to your involvement in the parade, when you guys are at the end and other people see you, do you share your story with other attendees, or what are you hoping that they take away from seeing a family share that experience of giving back and taking care of the place that they love just as much as you?
Well, one of our mottos is keep North Carolina clean. So my nephew broadcasted over the megaphone, and we kind of cheer people on if they've got trash bags and they're picking up, and do it the silent way. You don't need to beat people over the head with a drum. And I think his edification is, like Gretchen says, it's amazing now. I don't walk but maybe a mile, half a mile now, and there's just no litter. I mean, it's occasionally, I can tell you, you'd have to edit it all out, the things I used to find. I mean, billboards, checkbooks, credit cards, swim trunks, whatever.
Where were you picking up trash?
I know, crazy, right?
We're right between here and,
Oh, man.
yeah.
But I think, too, it's like, since we've been doing it for so many years, I mean, we're always at the end of the parade. We're kind of the very last, or does Santa's in the parade? Is he? I think we are.
No, you are the very last.
We are the very last.
Yep.
And by then, everyone is done with their ices.
Yeah.
Because there are so many, the kids are out there early, they're eating ices. And
Right.
Hopefully, I'm thinking that they see us every year.
And they know.
And they know.
Right.
Like, we're here to pick it up. We're going to take, and they are so appreciative because they don't want to be going home with all that trash. That
Right.
Right. And there we are with, when we got a lot of it. We get a lot of it from the parade.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, at least 8-10 bags for sure.
There's a lot.
Yeah. But that doesn't sound like anything close to what you were getting. 23 bags at one time.
That's right.
Well,
back in the 90s.
Yeah.
Wow.
That took 2 days. I mean, it wasn't just one day. That was a lot. But I'm glad I did it.
Yeah.
And I used to, when I'd run into cravings for coffee or breakfast in the morning, I used to run down the road and pick it up. And that's where it started. It just, you go 4 blocks and I couldn't carry enough bags. So, in fact, I got John Power from Blue Point when he was here. He had him adopt a highway. He did it beyond me at the corner, which now ladies have been doing it for 15 years, a garden club. But he used to have that corner, and he advertised a couple of his restaurants. But
been leading by example ever since. And it's you have to think that there's some sort of like psychological impact, people seeing this family picking up trash, and maybe another family that's there with their kids, trash might be something that's kind of out of sight, out of mind, and then when they see it, they're like, oh, and it just kind of sticks with them, and who knows, maybe they leave and they're inspired, and
right. And last year I know that we do have some little kids that are in it. They're not participating; they're being pulled in wagons, but they are part of the experience. They are, they're sitting there, they're watching it all, and I think just the impact of other people seeing, hey, the entire family's out here. It's not just older people, but it's kids, it's teenagers, it's 20-year-olds.
And I'm going to plead ignorance here and say that everyone has seen the Adopt a Highway sign and seen your name. So, hopefully they'll listen to this and be more cognizant of that and hear how long this has been going on and how important it is for you guys. What do you see this type of community service trickle out into your lives outside of Duck?
I think it makes I hope people more cognizant of keeping the country clean, not just North Carolina, but their own environment. I hope they take it back. They can do it, but I just not the little ones, but
they're learning.
Teenagers,
they're learning.
Teenagers and stuff. Yeah.
And I think so. I volunteer with a number of organizations in Raleigh, and I think it's so much better to give back. You feel so good afterwards, of just like, okay, I just cleaned it up, and look how nice it looks, and that I think it certainly carries back. Especially with, like your grandkids now, Dad. Yeah. That have been doing it for so long.
Right.
That it's kind of like, oh, this is just something we do. This isn't a, it isn't like surprise, but it's like, no, you've been doing this for a long time. We know that we do this. This is what happens. And it's just kind of like, and now it's just like, okay, no big deal. All right. Yeah, we're all getting in the truck and we're going down there. Okay, what time? We're meeting. There's
it's not forced.
It's a family outing. It's just one of the things you do on vacation. And,
right. And there's good food afterwards.
Yeah.
Again, with the bribery.
That's right. Exactly.
I'm kidding.
popsicles or whatever.
Right. I mean, it's obvious. I mean, I know I keep joking about the bribery, but it's something that you guys are very passionate about and is very evident. And
well, you should get a reward for performance.
What?
A reward for performance. If you're out there picking up trash,
then you're right. Okay.
You should get some sort of reward. And then if it's obviously your own self-satisfaction when you're older, but as a young person, it's just, I think, if somebody's giving me a popsicle or ice cream or something, I think I'd feel pretty good about it.
Right. And you start building that association.
Yeah.
And then as you get older, it kind of shifts.
If I pick up trash, I get ice cream. Hey, that's not a bad deal.
And then later you understand the complexities more of charitable giving. Yeah. You were in sales, right? So you know what you're doing.
Sure.
No. That's so great. I'm so excited for you guys. It's so special to hear these types of stories and know that Duck has a special place in your heart and your family, and that it goes back for so many generations. So, anybody that's listening to this, please stick around. And if you see them, thank them. Obviously, you'll see Uncle Sam out.
Right. You will. He will be there. Mm-hmm.
So thank you guys so much. And before we wrap up here, is there anything else you guys would like to add?
Oh, I have a question.
Yeah.
Will we see you at the parade?
Absolutely.
Okay, awesome.
I'll probably kind of be, bopping around everywhere. Betsy and I are kind of ping-ponging all over the place, but you will absolutely.
Okay, make sure you come and see us.
Oh, absolutely. Okay. I will. I'll definitely, I have the camera, so I'm kind of the photographer too. Okay. So yeah, I'll definitely see you guys. Yeah.
In the parking lot back behind when we're all setting up.
I'll make sure to get a great group photo.
Oh, that'd be
send
awesome.
It to us.
Yeah.
Send it to us.
That would be great.
Yeah.
I have a lot of photos of you guys from last year too, so I can share those.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, send them. Yeah, we'd like to see them. I'd like to see pictures of who was
there that year.
That's so cool.
Because it ebbs and flows every year.
Right.
It's like who can make it, who can't. And it's like, okay, all right.
And I know you showed me, during this interview, you had showed me an old photo from the Ohio Shay Clan Adopt a Highway. Do you guys take a similar photo, like recreate it every year?
Yes. No, but that's a good idea.
No, Dad, we do.
Well, we've had...
Pretty much.
Yeah, you and I...
Well, there have been smaller groups.
Yeah.
I think I love those types of photos where you see two younger siblings and they recreate it as adults. I love those.
Oh gosh.
They're so funny. My sister and I have done some and they're hysterical.
Okay, because we typically take it by
the Adopt a Highway sign.
The Adopt a Highway sign, and every year it's a little different.
Yeah.
And
that's a good idea.
We have a lot of them. I have a lot of them.
Well, you should.
Because I take all the photos.
Yeah, she's our...
Okay.
You're the photographer?
I'm the
photographer.
Not
only that, she's our orchestrator. She makes up the Christmas calendars and all the dates of everybody's...
When everyone was going to be here, I put together a master spreadsheet because it's not just like so Mom and Dad are here 2 weeks. I'm here for a week. Another sister and her family were here the week before, but they're coming and going. And I have so many people asking me in the family, well, when does so-and-so get there? I'm like, no. I put together a big master sheet.
Well, when you have 40 people, yeah.
Right.
You need a spreadsheet.
Right. And you want to know when they're going to be there.
Right.
It's like, oh, no, they don't arrive till Tuesday.
So you're like the cruise director.
Yes, I'm Julie.
All right.
And after the parade, obviously, that evening, Gretchen hosts a big cookout, which is outstanding, and everybody brings more than you could handle and eat, and it's a big time.
It's a big time.
That's awesome. Well, definitely look forward to seeing you guys on Friday.
We'll be there
before you know it, and I can't thank you guys enough for taking the time.
Oh,
I think
absolutely.
This has been so fun. Such a great conversation. I'm going to have you guys as regular guests. We could talk about anything.
We could. You're right.
And thank you for listening to the Sitting Duck, a Town of Duck podcast. Make sure you like this episode, subscribe so you know when new episodes are posted, and share it on your social media so more people know about it. And for the latest on what's happening in the Town of Duck, visit ducknc.gov.